With Thor Love and Thunder not too far away from being released, let us talk about the one that started it all for the god of thunder, the son of Odin. Here is my re-review of Thor. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Enough said. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers and true believers out there. Welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to you as the Big D. And this time around, I bring to you a re-review of the 2011 superhero flick, Thor, released by Paramount, along with Marvel Studios. Directed by Kenneth Branagh, written by Ashley Edward Miller and Zack Stentz, along with Don Payne. The film is the fourth film in the MCU, after recently getting Iron Man and its sequel. Yeah. Let's see here. And the Incredible Hulk. The film stars Chris Hemsworth in the title role, along with Natalie Portman, Tom Hiddleston, Stellan Skarsgard, Colm Feore, Ray Stevenson, Idris Elba, Kat Dennings, Rene Russo, and Sir Anthony Hopkins. After reigniting a dormant war, Thor is banished from Asgard to Earth, stripped of his powers and his hammer, Mjolnir. As his brother Loki plots to take the Asgardian throne, Thor must prove himself worthy. This was a pretty big success. Anyway, Sam Raimi first developed the concept of a film adaptation based on Thor in '91, but soon abandoned the project, leaving it in development hell for several years, until finally Paramount managed to get it. The film was a big success, but I'll talk more later. Right now, let's get into the story. In 965 AD, Odin, king of Asgard, wages war against the frost giants of Jotunheim and their leader Loki. Loki. I pronounce it either way, okay? To prevent them from conquering the nine realms starting with Earth. The Asgardian warriors defeat the frost giants in Norway and seize the source of their power, the casket of ancient winters. In the present, Odin's son Thor prepares to ascend to the throne of Asgard, but is interrupted when frost giants, secretly allowed in by his brother Loki, attempt to retrieve the casket. Against Odin's order, Thor travels to Jotunheim and confronts Loki, accompanied by Loki, his childhood friend Sif, and the warriors three, Volstagg, Fandral, Hogun. A battle ensues until Odin intervenes to save the Asgardians, destroying the fragile truce between the two races. For Thor's arrogance, Odin strips his son of his godly power and exiles him to Earth as a mortal, accompanied by his hammer Mjolnir, now protected by an enchantment that allows only the worthy to wield it. Thor lands in New Mexico, where astrophysicist Dr. Jane Foster, along with her assistant Darcy Lewis and mentor Dr. Eric Selvig, find him. The local populace finds Mjolnir, which S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Phil Coulson soon commandeers before forcibly acquiring Foster's data about the wormhole that delivered Thor to Earth. Thor, having discovered Mjolnir's nearby location, seeks to retrieve it from the facility that S.H.I.E.L.D. had constructed. But he finds himself unable to lift it and is captured. With Selvig's help, he is freed and resigns himself to exile on Earth as he develops a romance with Foster. Loki discovers that he is Loki's biological son, adopted by Odin after the war ended. Loki confronts Odin, who wearily falls into the deep Odin sleep to recover his strength. Loki takes the throne in Odin's stead and offers Loki the chance to kill Odin and retrieve the casket. Sif and the Warriors Three, unhappy with Loki's rule, attempt to return Thor from exile, convincing Heimdall, gatekeeper of the Bifrost, the means of traveling between worlds to allow them passage to Earth. Aware of their plan, Loki sends the Destroyer, a seemingly indestructible automaton, to pursue them and kill Thor. The warriors find Thor, but the Destroyer attacks and defeats him, prompting Thor to offer himself instead. Struck by the Destroyer near death, Thor proves himself worthy by his sacrifice to wield Mjolnir, and the hammer returns to him, restoring his powers and enabling him to defeat the Destroyer. Kissing Foster goodbye and vowing to return, he leaves with his fellow Asgardians to confront Loki. And now for the ending. As always, you know the procedure. You've got 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below to avoid ending spoilers. If you've seen the movie already, please continue. Thank you, and here we go. Okay, you've been warned. In Asgard, Loki betrays and kills Loki, revealing his true plan to use his attempt on Odin's life as an excuse to destroy Jotunheim with the Bifrost Bridge, thus proving himself worthy to his adoptive father. Thor arrives and fights Loki before destroying the Bifrost Bridge to stop Loki's plan, stranding himself in Asgard. Odin awakens and prevents the brothers from falling into the abyss created in the wake of the bridge's destruction. But Loki allows himself to fall when Odin rejects his pleas for approval. Thor makes amends with his father, admitting he is not ready to be king. Meanwhile, on Earth, Foster and her team search for a way to open a portal to Asgard. End of story. Or is it? Like most MCU movies, there is a post-credit scene. So, in the post-credit scene, Selvig is taken to a S.H.I.E.L.D. facility where Nick Fury opens a briefcase and asks him to study a mysterious cube-shaped object, which Fury says may hold untold power. And an invisible Loki prompts Selvig to agree, and he does. And that's the end. Right before the post-credit scene, we do get the word that Thor will return in the Avengers, which of course would come out the following year, just right after they did the next film in the MCU, which of course was Captain America, the First Avenger, which I will review that later on this year. So, what did I think of Thor? Well, I gotta say, I love this movie. This is easily one of my favorites in the MCU. I really do love this movie. I know I went and saw this film, and it was really, really cool. Now, apparently, after it was picked up by Paramount, Matthew Vaughn was assigned to direct the film, but however, he was released from his holding deal in 2008, which film would be planned to be out in 2010. Of course, Vaughn would later go on to direct the X-Men prequels. And so Branagh was approached, and the film's release came up in 2011. Anyway, the film was a big success. Critics praised the performances, the characters, themes, and special effects, but criticized the plot. Oh well, the story is fine and what have you. Anyway, the film went on to make $449 million worldwide. Now, aside from Chris Hemsworth, who plays the title character, who is absolutely incredible. Yes, this was the film that introduced me to him. Even though I did see him, I had forgotten I saw him in the Star Trek reboot that came out a couple of years before this. Playing Jane Foster's Natalie Portman, who we recently saw, well, before this in several films, including the Star Wars prequel trilogy. She's absolutely very good. Tom Hiddleston, who I was introduced to in this, was incredible as Loki. I liked his performance. Stellan Skarsgard plays Dr. Selvig. He's good. Combe Fior plays Loki, and he's good. Ray Stevenson plays Volstagg, and he's good. And of course, he recently played the Punisher in Punisher Warzone, which came out a few years. I think it came out before this, if I'm not mistaken. Let me have a look. Yes, it came out in 2008. I know I haven't reviewed that one yet, but you know, he's real good. Idris Elba plays Heimdall. He's really good. Kat Dennings, whom I recently saw her in Big Mama's House 2 before this, and after this she'd go on to be, well, the half of TV's Two Broke Girls, playing Darcy Lewis. I mean, she's really something. Rene Russo plays Odin's mother and wife of Odin, Frigga, and Sir Anthony Hopkins plays Odin. That was a big surprise. Really something. Let's see. Tadanobu Asano plays Hogun, and Josh Dallas plays Fandral. And finally, Jamie Alexander plays Sif. Of course, she recently was a star of the ABC Family, now Freeform series, Kyle XY, after this, she would also appear on NBC's recent hit Blind Spot, and would also appear in an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which, of course, Clark Gregg reprises his role as Phil Coulson. And, of course, Samuel L. Jackson has an uncredited cameo as Nick Fury, and Jeremy Renner has an uncredited cameo as Clint Barton, a.k.a. Hawkeye, who, of course, we'll be seeing more of him in The Avengers the following year. Yes. The themes and the effects of this film are really incredible, and I like that. The score done by Patrick Doyle is really good. Of course, that last name spelled the other way you would spell Doyle, which is D-O-Y-L-E. You should know by now mine's spelled with a D-O-Y-A-L. Thank you. But anyway, enough said about that. Thor was such a big success, and would go on to have a couple sequels, but now, of course, it's going to be 3 sequels now. 2 years later, Thor would be back in Thor the Dark World after the Avengers. And then in 2017 with Thor Ragnarok. And of course, he'll be back in Thor Love and Thunder, which opens this Friday in theaters. You will get a spoiler-free review of that this Friday. So overall, with a great cast, great settings and special effects and characters and all that jazz, and a reasonable story, would I recommend Thor? Hell yeah, that's the answer. You gotta check this film out. I have it on DVD. You can also find the film on Disney Plus. And that's that. So anyway, what are your thoughts on Thor? Please tell me in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And join me next time when I bring to you a re-review of Thor the Dark World. Thanks for watching, and if you like this, consider checking out these other Marvel films I recently did. In the upper left-hand corner is my re-review of Marvel's The Avengers. The upper right-hand corner is my re-review of Spider-Man from 2002. Or if you'd like, go to the bottom or go see my re-review of The Amazing Spider-Man, which would also be released the following year in 2012. In the bottom left-hand corner. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying see ya and Excelsior! Bye now.